Well, from one courageous Australian to another, the remarkable Indigenous Australian, Jacinta Nampijinpa Price. She stood for the Liberal Party at the last federal election in the Northern Territory seat of Lingiari. She is the Deputy Mayor of Alice Springs Town Council. This Saturday, she'll contest pre-selection for the coveted Senate spot for what is in the Northern Territory, the Country Liberal Party. It has ruffled a few feathers because the spot is currently held by Samantha McMahon from the last federal election. Sam McMahon, Sam a woman, Samantha. Sam was a veterinarian in Katherine before entering politics. She grew up in Nanango in Queensland. She's got a Bachelor of Veterinary Science from the University of Queensland, and she's a good candidate. But with no reflection on Sam McMahon, Jacinta Price must be in the national parliament. It is controversial for a sitting coalition candidate to be challenged, but I repeat, we go on about Indigenous representation. This woman belongs in the fair dinkum stakes. She is needed in the parliament because, sadly, the rest are what my old man would say, all hat and no cattle. Jacinta Price has been to Canberra last year to argue that in one Indigenous community alone, 184 children were victims of abuse, 35 men faced 300 charges. But when she went to Canberra, no one listened. She went to Canberra in March this year. She was joined by the cousins of a 15-year-old who'd been raped and died to try to get the Morrison government to address girls being raped and beaten in Indigenous communities. Now, the media were nowhere to be found, preoccupied with Brittany Higgins and men pleasuring themselves. Remember we had women in March, marching this year, and they were spitting and hissing about inequality. Not a single one was interested in Jacinta Price and the plight of raped Aboriginal girls. Jacinta has said, I've got to get to Canberra and make a difference. She contests pre-selection this Saturday. She joins me. Jacinta, thank you for your time. How are things going? I know it's a bit controversial, but you deserve to be there.
Oh, thank you very much, Alan. Look, it is absolutely heating up. Obviously there are two others also contesting for the Senate seat. And, historically, it's not something that hasn't been done before. We had the National Senator Wacker Williams who went against the sitting senator at the time, Sandy McDonald, and ended up winning that pre-selection over Sandy McDonald. So historically, it's occurred previously. And look, we live in a democracy, and so we should have the opportunity to be able to challenge a sitting senator.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Out there, our viewers think you're unbelievable. Jacinta, in Canberra, they mouth better treatment and respect for women. Who was defending you at the last federal election when a Greens candidate posted a picture of you drinking from a coconut with a caption, "It's not every day you see a coconut drinking from a coconut"? Who was standing up for Jacinta Price?
Well, certainly not the people that claim to stand up for the rights of women, for the rights of Indigenous people.
Yep, absolutely.
They were nowhere to be seen within all of that. And I think, the ABC may have mentioned it, but then they also tried to undermine it by attempting to call me Islamophobic in the same breath. So, yeah, it's an interesting one, but a battle that we've just got to continue to fight.
Let me say to our viewers, this brilliant woman went to Canberra in March with the family of a 15-year-old Indigenous girl, Layla. She was found raped and hanging from a tree with plant material in her buttocks at Tennant Creek. She wanted to get the federal government to address the issue of girls being raped and beaten in the Northern Territory. Where, Jacinta, were all those people who flocked to the Women's March hissing about equality? Where were they?
They were absolutely nowhere to be seen. Once again, there were no appearances. Lydia Thorpe certainly was not there at all. We did not hear a peep from her. We didn't hear a peep from the ABC. They weren't interested one bit whatsoever. We've tried to get the attention of certainly the Territory government as well in terms of trying to address this particularly urgent issue, and the Territory government like to think that stand up for the rights of Indigenous women and children, but this particular issue has been largely ignored by them.
Well, what Jacinta is saying, I know, is that this cause needs a voice. She's talking about violence, sexual molestation, despair, drugs, suicide. No coverage for the cause. So Jacinta is saying, well, I'm going to give this a crack this weekend to get into the Senate and make a difference. Now, we've got a lot of viewers in Darwin. So just before you go, what are you saying to them, Jacinta?
Look, everyone knows I have the tenacity to go in with a fight. That's what I'm known for. I'm known for bringing forward the issues that are relevant, that are important to everybody, particularly in the Northern Territory. And what we need in Canberra is a voice that is going to be heard, someone who is respected and who is going to be heard and who is going to get things done for the benefit of the Northern Territory. And I can tell you now, I've been standing out there doing it and yelling, often feeling like a lone voice, but I will continue to do what I'm doing and go harder.
Wonderful stuff. Good luck. Good luck on Saturday. I mean, Indigenous issues in the Northern Territory, everybody's issues. This is a lady born in Darwin, raised in Alice Springs, getting tremendous support, and that's all on Saturday. Jacinta, we wish you well. We need you there. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Alan. It's always a pleasure, and I appreciate your support.
Not at all. Isn't she lovely? An absolutely outstanding Australian. And I'm telling you something, she'd be an outstanding Prime Minister. There are 2 Northern Territory Senate seats. One traditionally goes to the Coalition, the other to Labor. The Coalition candidate will be decided on Saturday. It should be the woman you've just heard, Jacinta Price. What are your views on all of this? Alan at skynews.com.au or the text line 0414 000 848.